you're just as good as your last sale. And unfortunately, that still stands. The market is very bad. Central London has gone down 38% since 2014. That is a crazy figure. But if the property is cheap enough, it is selling, and it is an amazing time to buy.
The market is as low as it will get, or you think it's going to go lower?
I don't think it's going to go lower because the budget's out now as well. I think now it's going to stay, and slowly it's actually going to start going up. I feel like the Scottish market is fabulous right now. I think it's what Manchester was 15, 20 years ago. You need to be very careful when you buy a property at auctions. A lot of them come with a lot of problems which are hidden in the legal paperwork. Get real legal advice, or all the T's and crosses are checked.
The last year or so, you have gone through a very personal journey with your husband.
Yeah.
Would you mind talking to us a little bit about that journey? I know it's a very personal journey.
Welcome to Driven Women by Cash and Rocket, where exceptional women break barriers and share their journeys.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I introduce you to a dear friend of mine, Eram Sheraz Monnoo. Monnoo.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. I'm loving being here too.
In the back of a taxi at the Peninsula London.
So cool. I love
all
it.
about driven women.
Yeah.
So, Eram, tell me a little bit about your career and how it all started, and explain to us auction houses and the property market. Give us some knowledge.
Okay, I can share a lot of knowledge.
Perfect.
And I'm going to try and do it in as little snippets as I can. I'll break down my journey, which started as working for a cash buying company.
Right.
So that's how it started. So I've always worked in below market value property, and because of that, when you work in below market value property, the automatic and the best step forward was to go into auctioneering, because that is buying properties below market value.
Sure. Okay.
And when I started with my first job, obviously I hadn't worked before then, so I didn't know how talented
Where was this? Where were you at that point?
It was a very small firm called MPG, and it was a dad and two brothers who had sold a mobile phone company for about 100 million euros to the French. And they sat on a lot of money, and they wanted to start getting involved in property. Right. And I was their only employee at that time. So
hallelujah.
I know, it was a very close-knit, we were very close-knit, and I learned a lot. We learned a lot together. And in that, I very quickly learned that I'm very good at my job.
Right.
Because my turnaround rate was fantastic. I was making a lot of money at a very young age. And I realized that, I'm good with people, because before that I'd never worked. And I guess entrepreneurship, which we will go on to, is all about how you are with people. I mean, maybe not in the tech industry, but in property, because it's not as glamorous or as fancy. It's all bricks and mortar. It does come down to how you are with people, and how your negotiating skills are, and how much persistence you have as well to win the business. So I went from MPG, did really well there. Very quickly I realized that I'm very good at my job, and I was making a lot of money at a very young age. And then I set up something very similar for myself, which was a cash buying company, which I did for a couple of years. And then we had the recession that came in. That was a tough time. That's when everything failed. It was horrible. That, I would say, was one of the hardest parts of my job then. My phone stopped ringing, and it was tough, because I didn't know where I belonged anymore, whereas all I'd done is put all my time and effort into this one product, which was negotiating properties below market value, which meant I was dealing with the seller. And then essentially, once we'd contracted the seller and we'd bought the property, we were then dealing with, buyers. The buyer. So my client was never one client. So my client is the buyer and the seller. So both. So they're both our clients. From there, we had, it was like, terrible experience with the recession. And then I took a bit of time out. And after that is when I got into auctioneering.
Right.
And that I was helping a friend who has a very large auction house today, and help them grow their business as well. After that, I realized that I'm really good at auctioneering, and I set up my own auction house. When I set up my own auction house, it was very daunting. It was very brave of me because it's completely male dominating and a very close-knit community. That community is like, we all know each other and everyone is fighting for the same stock. So it's really brutal. Now, when I set up my own auction, I've managed to get my own stock because I've built a reputation of delivering, because it's all about delivering. So if someone's going to entrust you to sell their property, and when you come to auction, that you're a last resort. No one's coming to auction because they want maximum value. They're coming because now they've had enough, they've exhausted all their resources, you're like at the bottom of the list. However, that's also an opportunity because now you know that the seller's quite desperate. So if you do get the instruction, the chances of selling it are pretty high. But then you're fighting for the instruction with all the other auction houses as well. So I ended up setting up my own auction, and on the day of my auction, I remember...
Only focusing on properties?
Only properties, or commercial and residential, but mainly the residential in London. So my main stock is still in London. We are a national auction. However, because I'm in London and I think my presence is in London, I get a lot of London stock. When I had the first day of my auction, the auction that I had originally set up, it was very flattering that the CEO or the owner of every other big auction house attended my auction. They all came because they were so confused of what this woman was doing. They were like, what is she going to do? Oh my God, what is she going to do? And they would call me the girl because my name is Eram, and you know, it's not like Laura, it's not easy, you know. So they would just call me the girl.
I think your last name is more difficult to pronounce than Eram.
I think, yeah, well, not the Sheraz bit, that's easy.
No, that's the easy part.
So I had, and it was, and you know, it blows my mind even to think of, I had the owner of Allsops, the owner of Savills, the owner of Barnard Marcus, you know, they all came to the auction, the owner of Auction House London, and they all came to see what
are you up to?
What am I up to? What am I doing? And how have I
threatened?
Yes, and how have I achieved it? Because they were so gung-ho on no one can get into that circle. So they were difficult. It was very difficult to deal with them, and it was challenging because I would then end up getting the worst stock to sell as well. So all the stock they couldn't sell would then come to me because I would beg for it. I call it glorified begging. I would beg those clients for the stock and say, let me prove it to you. And then I would do absolutely anything to sell it, and I would sell it. And because I did end up selling stock that they couldn't sell, that became my niche.
That's a turning point.
That was my turning point. And it still is never as easy as that because, you know, you're just as good as your last sale.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that still stands. So, you know, there was a lot of that, a lot of just resilience. You need so much resilience, and you just can't take anything personally. At all. And business shouldn't be taken personally. It's, you know, you're all fighting for your livelihoods, aren't you? So when you're fighting for your livelihood, then I guess it's worth the fight. And so that's where that took off. And I was so busy constantly challenging everyone and just trying to make my name that I didn't even realize while I was doing all that work that I actually ended up becoming the 13th largest in the UK. And it was a shocking news to me when it came in the Estates Gazette, because they would give you your numbers. And when that number came out, I was genuinely flabbergasted. I was like, how did I do it? But I was so busy working that I didn't realize that this is what was happening in the background. That all I was doing was fighting. Every day it was a fight, a fight, a fight, a fight. I mean, I could have been a politician.
Are you quite feisty?
I mean, I think I can be feisty, but in a very subtle and a joking kind of way. Nothing needs to get that deep or, yeah, like that deep. So I can get my point across, and I can be very, very, very brave in certain situations as well. But you do have to fight your corner for your business. You really have to fight for your corner, and you need to fight for your place.
And especially in a man-dominated world.
Completely male-dominated world. I mean, I was invited to the top auctioneers' lunch hosted by the Estates Gazette, and I was the only woman there, barring the waitress. And I have a picture somewhere as well of that. And my cousin pointed out, she said, in my Instagram post, she said, Eram, you're the only woman except for the waitress. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And you don't even realize because you're so busy doing your job and just working and making sure everyone's happy. If you fought for stock, you need to sell it. So, you know, you're constantly trying to deliver. My business is all about delivering. Like, if I don't deliver, then I can't.
And so that company, you then ended up selling that company?
Yeah, I sold that before COVID. And
that was lucky.
Yeah. And then I decided to take a break, and I thought to myself, I'm never going to do that again, because it's constant. And I was so burnt out, and you know, and I thought, no, I'm going to try something different, something a bit more light, something a bit more feminine, you know. But unfortunately, that didn't work for me, and I got headhunted to by Century 21, who is huge in America and Europe. They're not so big in the United Kingdom, but they're getting there. They have 33, I think, agents in London right now, which, you know, isn't that many compared to some of the other big companies. And I've taken the sole rights for the auction nationwide. So now we're beginning to work with that. And now my strategy is very, very different. Whereas before, I would take a lot of single businesses, and now I'm focusing more on corporate, which is working really well. So more with lenders. So we have lenders, so we sell for lenders, and probates, which are, you know, via death. So people who've died and they have beneficiaries. So that's my main concentration area, which is building up, where we're valuing sometimes over 100 properties a week, which keeps us extremely busy. So that's where I'm at right now. So I feel like I've definitely got a different approach to it.
And what is the property market here in the UK? I mean,
it's really bad right now.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's worse than the recession. But I was so young at that point, and because it was the starting of my career as well, I didn't really know how to handle it, whereas now I can handle it. I've built the relationships, I've got the contacts, I've worked in my 20s non-stop, maybe 18 hours, you know, even on weekends, didn't stop. And I'm now seeing the rewards of that, where I'm working with corporate clients. The market is very, very bad. I think I read somewhere that, you know, central London has gone down 38% since 2014, which is crazy. That is a crazy figure. But if the property is cheap enough, it is selling, and it is an amazing time to buy. So if you can buy, and if you can be guided correctly, this is it, because it is London, it is England, and England is, you know, I know everyone's going to Dubai right now as well, but, you know, you can't make London, you can't make England overnight. You just can't do it. We've got everything here, the best education, the best police, crime, everything.
And you think that the market is as low as it will get, or you think it's going to go lower? Because then you should wait buying a little bit.
No, I don't think it's going to go lower.
You don't think?
No, I don't think it's going to go lower. I don't think it's going to go lower, because the budget's out now as well.
Yeah.
So everyone was waiting for the budget. It's not going to go out. It's not going to go lower now. I think now it's going to stay, and slowly it's actually going to start going up.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, because it's still a shit show with this government on.
Oh my God, it's really bad.
Yeah,
really,
it's not fun. Right, so now, you know, what are we, in regards to your day-to-day, being a mother and traveling and running your own company, how do you maneuver all of that?
It's really hard. It's really hard, because, you know, when you have children, you don't know how each day is going to go. They might be ill, they might get a tummy bug, or, you know, they've got plays and so forth. Originally, when I was working in my 20s and 30s, in my 20s I didn't have children, in my 30s I did. And I do feel like there were days living in the same house as my children that I wouldn't see them, which was because I was so dedicated to my job and pleasing everyone in my job. Because if I've taken your property, then you do expect me to do the best job for it, and rightly so. Now, again, it's a little bit different, because I do make sure that I will drop my child off to school now. I will do those little things that I didn't do before, but also I'm way more established. I'm way more established.
You have a reputation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I myself have got 100% success rate if I'm given an instruction. That doesn't count for everyone that works for me, but for me, I do have that, because the reliability and delivering are two of the most important things to me, and I take them really, really, really seriously. But it is hard being a mum and working and a wife and everything that comes with it. It is hard, and you do have to juggle everything. And sometimes when I'm in my meeting with men, I say, well, I take my job very seriously, because I'm actually taking time away from my children as a mother and sitting at this table. So I'm in it to win it.
Yeah.
You know? And I think, yeah, it is difficult. And you can end up managing it, but you always have that one kid that's always complaining.
Tell me about your kind of future plans.
Well, my future plan is to make Century 21 Auctions the biggest auction house in the country, which will be really hard because the competition is so fierce. However, I feel like, you know, with persistence and deliverability, as I've said a million times today, I think anything is possible. And I do also believe every dog has its day. And I know it's like a certain slogan, because, you know, you do have, like, what was it? We had BlackBerry and then Apple took over, and, you know, it just happens. And I think if you keep going and, you know, you have the right stock, but also it's about having the right stock. And now I feel like my stock is excellent. I've got brilliant stock at the moment, and I'm not taking, before I used to take everything, and then I used to work more than anyone to sell it, and I would end up selling it, but now my stock is so good that it just kind of sells itself, like it's very easy. And I think that's what I work towards. And if I can just build that up, then I think that, I think I can become.
And then you go above being based, you know, or the stock is from London.
I mean, we do get, you can do. Right now it's in London, mostly in London, but it could be anywhere. I feel like the Scottish market is fabulous right now.
Okay.
I think people should invest in Scotland. I think it's what Manchester was, 15, 20 years ago. And I'm originally from Manchester, and I've seen the boom there. And up north, market still isn't as bad as London. London is hit really badly.
Right.
Because the yields still work there. You can still get a really good yield up there. Over here, there's like no yield.
Well, also the houses that are valued quite high. A lot of people, you know, thousands of people have left.
Yeah, they've left.
Yeah.
Lots of people are leaving, and they've destroyed central London. I mean, the Labour Party's destroyed central London. It will come back if, you know, as we discussed, like maybe if Reformer comes in. I think they'd be great for the country. I think they'd be great for business.
Well, we've got to do something, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Can only go up here at this point.
Yeah. It's like getting a parking ticket when you wake up first thing in the morning, and you wake up and you look at your car and you've got a parking ticket. You know that day's only going to get better.
Yeah,
it's not going to get worse.
So tell me, in regards to any advice you would give yourself as a younger self, or any young girls who would like to go into your profession.
I think going into property, because it's a bit like maths, you know. You can find out the value of a property. You should know what price you should be buying it at. You know, you can figure out the build cost. You know your stamp duty. You know all the costs that are there. My advice, and then of course you've got the whole legal aspect as well to property, which is very, very, very important. In auctions as well, which you need to watch out for. There's a lot of properties that are sold.
Do you have legal background?
I don't have a legal background myself. I did do an A-level in in law, and government and politics. But, you know, selling over tens and thousands of properties in auction now, my legal background in conveyancing is hot. It's perfection. And I can say that you need to be very careful when you buy a property at auction as well, because a lot of them come with a lot of problems which are hidden in the legal paperwork. So I would definitely look out for that and get real legal advice. Just make sure all the T's and crosses are checked on that. And I would give to someone, like if you're a 20-year-old and you want to go into property investment, or you want to learn about property and you want it to become your career, I would say get a job first.
Get some experience.
Yeah, work in it for 2 years. Because once you understand how it works, because it's the same. It's not like, you know, making a makeup brand or you know, or it's not a shade of lipstick that suits someone.
Sure.
This is very factual, and people's lives depend on it. When they buy a property, they're generally using their savings.
Yeah.
and they think they're going to get rich quick. So it's very, very, very serious. You've got to have your legals intact. You've got to make sure that the property is what you're buying, that there's no hidden, you know, let's say exemptions on a property or something. You can't necessarily see them straight away. You do need to...
They're not online?
No, they're not online. You need to dig deeper. And that's why a lot of people do put their properties in auction. Even lenders sometimes don't reveal all, which, you know, again, you need to really, really, really be careful.
And how will you then get access to those kind of...
Through your lawyer.
Right.
Your lawyer.
Okay.
So you can't just do it yourself. You can't just read a legal pack. Make sure you have a lawyer that goes through the legal pack. Make sure you get a survey done on the property before you put down, before you bid. Make sure you know everything about it before you go ahead and you register to bid, and then you win the bid.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because, you know, it's not been many times, but there have been a few times where people have lost their deposits, which is not very nice, because no one buys a property to make money than to lose money.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, if you want to get into property, you want to get into property investment, very exciting, brilliant career, you can make a lot of money in it, but you must attach yourself to a company first, get all the experience for 2 to 3 years, and then go out on your own.
Yeah.
Don't start on your own. Don't think that you know everything.
Yeah.
Don't have fear, but also don't have pride.
Yeah.
You've really got to be in the middle.
Yeah,
You've got to be open to listening. You've got to be open to learning.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I would do. I mean, my son's my protege right now, and it's really fun teaching him.
And how old is he?
14.
Very sweet.
Yeah. But again, it's like they hear a lot because I'm working all the time. I'm not working.
Yeah.
So it's even on the weekends, or I take calls all the time. I never don't take calls, and I will always respond to everybody. And you know, they're always in the background, so they inherit a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they've heard them over.
Yeah, and I think my sisters ended up inheriting a lot of stuff as well, just by listening.
Yeah.
And I did, because it's what my dad did. My dad had a construction company, and I ended up learning a lot just being around.
Yeah. So talking about children and motherhood. The last year or so, you have gone through a very personal journey with your husband.
Yeah.
Would you mind talking to us a little bit about that journey? I know it's a very personal journey, but there are so many women out there.
Yeah, it is a really personal journey, and you know, because we've both got children with separate partners, and we would have loved to have our own child, and it didn't happen for us naturally, so we went down the IVF route, which, you know, the whole IVF process wasn't actually that difficult.
Right.
It wasn't that, you know, I'd heard that, you know, the injections make you very emotional, or, you know, it was none of that. I didn't feel any of that. I think it's more the waiting game, the suspense, okay, now you've managed to get my eggs, brilliant. Now you've managed to make an embryo, brilliant. But now you have to put that embryo in me, and no one tells you have to have like 2 gallons of water before the embryo can be implanted in you. And when it is, you then have to wait 7 days before you find out if you're pregnant or not. And that's the killer. So it's all the other process is fine. It's when they get the eggs, it's okay. And every day they call you to tell you if your embryo has made it or not. So every day you get a call and they tell you, oh, you had 6 and now you've only got 4. And you know what? That phone call, that's hard. I think everything else is fine. And then once you have the embryo implanted, and then when you find out, I actually got pregnant, but then I had a miscarriage. But it didn't affect me. I wasn't emotional, or I wasn't sad, because I think it's a conversation we had as well, when it's like, I'd rather have a healthy baby. You know, I've got children, he's got children, but you'd rather have a healthy baby, and you know that if you've got a miscarriage, that something wasn't right.
Yeah.
So, you know, I took it in my stride, and I was completely fine with it. You know, completely fine. But yeah, it's a hard journey.
Yeah.
It is a hard journey. And it's not what I thought would be hard. It's not the injections, it's not
what other people told you was going to be hard.
It was actually the things that no one talks about. That no one tells you, that when you're waiting for that phone call, has the embryo formed? And you're like, oh God, it's formed. Oh, okay, fine, great. And you don't even talk about it because you're like, you don't want to jinx it. And I remember when my doctor called me and she's like, I had a blood test or some test because you're having a blood test every day. And she's like, you know, it's plateaued. You're going to miscarry. And I said to her, you know what, thanks for telling me, and it's fine. And she's like, I'm so sorry, Eram. And I'm like, I know, but to be honest, I'm not. Because I'd much rather it be now than later on, or deal with more issues. So I was kind of relieved that I know now and not later.
Yeah.
And I think everyone around me was a lot sadder than I was.
Yeah.
And it's because I knew that this was just going to be bad news.
And is this process of going through IVF, is it something you put a little bit on a weight, or?
I don't want to do it again.
No.
No. And I'm someone who just not give up. But I feel like adopting, or, you know, there's other avenues that I think would be really nice for us, you know. So
and there are so many gorgeous children out there.
So many. And I feel
really
like,
need of a home.
Yeah, and I feel like we're the perfect parents. I think our children are all fabulous. And I think that they're so good with each other because, you know, they're not all biological, but they're all so good with one another that I feel like that's my calling. And I've thought about it, and I feel very satisfied with that decision, and so does Sheraz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
this is wonderful.
I know, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I can do it at any age.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't. Oh, and my tubes were blocked as well, and I got them unblocked, and I had this fabulous doctor that did them just with a dye, which was really good and interesting as well.
I don't even understand what that means. So,
well, you know, my tubes were blocked. That's why I couldn't conceive.
Yeah.
And after my IVF journey, I decided to get my tubes unblocked. And my mum was like, wouldn't you do that first?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know. But, you know, I just thought, I'm young. I've still got good eggs. Let me try the IVF. And I've got my tubes unblocked now.
So it could happen, actually.
It could happen. So it could happen.
And in many cases, actually, when people start the IVF and suddenly don't overthink it or think too much about it, because apparently it's a very mental thing as well.
It is a mental thing, but I feel like, you know, when I had kids before, literally, like, you know, I always had the coil. As soon as I got my coil out, I got pregnant immediately. So I was under the same impression that would happen. But the truth is that when you get older, it really does get harder, you know, both for man and woman.
Yeah.
And so I would say to everyone, like, freeze your eggs.
Yeah.
Freeze them. And because, you know, we are getting into that time where years are shorter.
Yeah.
And, you know, before you know it, like, we're like, oh my God, it's already next year.
Yeah.
And freeze your eggs and take it seriously. Take your journey of having a baby extremely seriously. If you are not in a relationship, or if you want to have kids in the future. I was never one of those women that thought, oh, I can't have a baby and a career.
Yeah.
I was like, I can have it all.
Yeah.
You know, and I've proven you can have it all, and so have you.
Yeah.
And you can, but again, it's not for everyone.
No.
It's not for everyone. Because
No, and there's a lot of compromise that comes with that.
there is a lot of compromise that does come with it. And
Like tonight, after I've been here the whole day doing
Yeah.
lots of incredible interviews, I have promised my daughters to go Christmas shopping, which is, as much as I love them, it's going to be a really tiring experience.
yeah, it will be, but it will also be fun.
Yeah,
And, you know, like, for me, it's my wedding anniversary today.
exactly. And
But
you're
I'm-
going to celebrate that.
Yeah, I'm going to celebrate that tonight. And,
Yeah.
you know, so we are constantly, but there's a certain type of woman. And I don't know if I should use the word alpha, because, you know, that's what they are called. But then again, that's like quite male, when I'm quite feminine. But I'm in a male-dominating industry. You don't need to have a boy cut and, you know, not have children and be like, I'm not going to get married. You can have it all, but you just need to believe in yourself, and you need to be not scared of fear. You've got to have no fear, and I've got no fear when it comes to my career, and I take stress really well. I actually don't take it on. I don't take stress on.
Well, that's great, though.
Yeah, I've got this great ability from my dad. He doesn't take stress on.
Fantastic.
He doesn't.
I wish I could say the same, but that is certainly not.
I've definitely got that trait from my dad, and I love it. Calm, collected. I can get the worst news and I'll be like, okay. Even today I got a phone call. Everyone was jumping up and down. And I was like, no, don't worry, it'll be fine. Send me the screenshot, I'll sort it out. Because I will sort it out, and it will be sorted out, because everything is a conversation. You can sort everything out with a conversation.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
So, because you've got the buyer, you've got the seller, everybody wants, the goal is the same for everyone. So someone just needs to come in and just have the conversation with the lawyers, with the seller, with the buyer, with everyone, and just say, this is how we're going to do it. It's okay. What is the solution? Let's sit down. Let's work it out. It'll take another 2 days, but that's it. And that's the approach. It's like
So that's a great advice, ladies and gentlemen, to have that approach.
Yeah, and just don't panic. And also manage the male ego.
Yeah, well, maybe you should start calling around all the political,
I feel like that's my job, managing male egos, because that's what I'm doing. It's like one guy's jumping up and down, then the other guy's jumping up and down. But when I come in the middle, I just smooth it out really well. Really well.
So do you think that it should be the next leader of the UK should be a female leader?
I think so. I loved Margaret Thatcher. She was fabulous. I liked Theresa May as well, but they gave her a really, really hard time. I thought she was amazing, but poor woman didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
They really, really, really gave it to her. But yeah, I think the right woman, because Rachel Reeves, she's awful.
Yeah.
She's destroying us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also making it super. There's no strategy, there's no structure, there's no nothing, so it's not helpful.
But I do think that women leaders can be fabulous, and they're great. Like,
we have a great one in Denmark.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mm-hmm. We used to have one in Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto. She was fabulous, but she got assassinated. And so you can be, because women, they're not murderers, let's just say. They're homemakers naturally, so they have the same approach for everything. That's what I believe. I mean, if you look at women and if you listen and you talk to them and you talk to them all day, they're not all about breaking everything. They want to make everything work. We want our homes to work, we want our children to work, we want our businesses to work. That's what we want.
Multitasking.
Fabulous at multitasking. Great multitaskers.
Exactly. So tell me about your experience on the Cash and Rocket. That's how we connected.
Oh my God. I think that was the best time of my life. I've got videos which I'll share with you, which prove it was the best time of my life. I feel like it was the most amazing group of women, and the activities were fabulous. The evenings were amazing. The dinners were amazing. I met some of the most amazing women I've ever met in my life. I love strong women, and there was a lot of strong women on that trip, on the trip that I was on, and even Mary, Lily. Who else was there that really reaches out to me? I think those two I instantly got along with, like instantly. And they're still women that I love and appreciate, and they're fabulous.
Yeah. So that whole female community of just having strong women behind each other, supporting each other.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, I don't know how you pull it off, but getting that many women to get to places on time, to have them
more or less on time.
To have them.
2 breakdowns.
It was just, it was just amazing. Every single part of that trip was amazing.
Oh,
and I'm so glad that I got to do it and experience it.
Well, and it's women taking out of their comfort zone, and so that's why they really also unite. We kept breaking down. We were in that electric gang of ours.
Yeah, I just don't think I'd ever do electric.
Where the grid couldn't handle us, so that was a bit of an issue.
But it was. I'd say one of the best times of my life.
Oh, that's
Definitely.
super nice to hear.
Definitely one of the best times of my life. That was.
So I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
You go into a meeting. What is your power item that you like to wear when you go in and you want to take over that?
Oh God, in my meetings, I'm always in my trainers. I'm super casual, because my meetings are now with people that I know so well, and or they might be on Zoom or something, and I just feel like I'm a very casual person.
So you're one of those people that sits on Zoom, so basically naked from here and just wearing a top.
No, I'm not naked. Definitely not naked. But No, I'm a very, very casual person, and I feel like I work my best when I'm feeling really casual, uncomfortable. And because
uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Comfort's really important to me when I'm, working. And I feel like with me, because I am so good at my job, and that just me being present and being comfortable is where I can win anyone's business over, and I know that. I don't need to go in looking a certain way at all, because I know once I'm there, there's nothing you can throw at me that can make me not win that business when I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm very, 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 very confident in myself when it comes to that.
Okay.
So I think it's just my presence, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's my presence.
I love your confidence when you're saying, because I am so good at my job.
But I am
really
good at my
I wish
job.
more women would sit and say that.
No, I am really, and that threatens a lot of men. And that's why all the other CEOs of the auction houses came, because they all know that I'm very good at my job.
Yeah.
That if I end up talking to your client, your client will come over to me. So, that's the level of confidence, and I've proven it. I've proven it time and time and time again.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Very proud of you.
I know. I wish my mum would be proud of me. I'm still waiting.
Pretty sure she is.
I'm still waiting.
Pretty sure she is.
No, because my parents, no matter what happens, I've given out awards. I've achieved so many things. I've been in magazines where they always just look at me and they're like, "Oh, that was good," because they're just not satisfied, because they're like, "Oh, but Eram, you've got so much more to give. You've got so much to." But maybe that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
In a way, because they're never impressed. My parents are never impressed. And you always want to impress your parents.
I'm pretty sure they are. They just don't know how to say it.
No, they're not. Trust me. They're always looking at me like, you can do more. And, I think subconsciously, you always want to impress your parents. I think whatever happens, I think we all go out.
You want to make them proud.
You want to make them proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what it is. I think I might have heard my mum say it once in her life. And my dad just doesn't care. He's just.
I really think you should shout out to her, Eram, and tell her how proud you are of her. I'm going to make sure she's going to watch this interview.
Yeah, she
just
should
to
watch
listen to this
interview.
conversation.
Yeah. My mum's becoming TikTok famous.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she should put
So
it
do
on
you tell your children a lot that that you're proud of them?
Here
or
and
is
there.
it part of the family?
No, very here and there. I actually originally, when we were applying to secondary schools for Amin, we were like, and I'm like, Amin, oh my God, what are we proud of here? Like, we've got to find something. Like, and you've got to. And I was like, oh shit, I sound like my mum. But he was a professional racing driver as well, so he's had a very, very, very different upbringing, in the sense he was a professional racing driver. Then he stopped doing that because he's like, Mum, I just don't want to do it anymore. And at the end of the day, we still kept going, but if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it.
No, if you don't have the passion,
then, and it's very expensive. So I was like, fine, this is not football, fine, but I feel like I am proud of them. Of course I am, because they are really, really, really good kids, but I do feel like they've got a lot more potential. Like today, Amin messaged me going, I got 73% in my English test, and I was like, is that good or bad? And he's like, Mum, that's really good. I got a B+. I said, but Amin, you never study. Like, you could easily get an A. So it is that same attitude that I feel like is contagious in my family, where we're like, no one's really proud of you.
Well, we have to tell them a bit of feedback. But I don't agree with the ones where they say that you can be anything you want. And
every child is different.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
every child is different, and you can't, you cannot expect the same things from every child at all. You have to look at them and you have to see what they're good at and what they're not good at.
Yeah,
and
making sure that they get some praise, but some can handle it better than others.
Yeah, I have started saying, oh my God, I'm so proud of you on certain things, and I feel like when I say it, I'm like proud of myself for saying it as well.
So it's like two people get
two people, but you have to take each child for what it is. My older son wants to be an entrepreneur. He wants to work in business. My younger son is got every athletic ability in him that you could ever think of. Like
so there you go, two very different.
Very, very, very different. So you have to see that and then nurture it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
nurture it, I think.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here at Driven Women in the back of the beautiful taxi at the Peninsula London.
It was so fun.
No, it was really nice to have you.
I know.
And thank you for sharing your journey. This was a very personal journey. It means a lot because there's a lot of women out there
Yeah,
that's going through, and if we don't embrace and we don't actually, you know,
I always say it's not easy being a woman, full stop.
Yeah.
It's not easy being a woman who's a mother, who's working. Your husband needs attention, your children need attention, your parents,
Needs
your
attention.
siblings, especially if you're an elder child like me. Are you the eldest?
no, middle. Do I not look like the middle
You're
child?
so the middle child. Oh my God. No, I completely see your middle child syndrome. I'm the eldest, everything falls on me. You know,
That is such a bullshit thing.
No, it's not a
The
bullshit
oldest
thing.
does not get everything out there.
No, I've had everything thrown at me. Trust
We'll
me,
have
they're
this
like,
discussion a whole other day.
No, everything. I'm like, I had to tell my parents, you need to be the parent to your children. I'm not the parent. You are the parent. So I had to and they got really shocked when I said that to them. But it's like, you can't throw everything on me because I'm the eldest child. You're still alive and they're your children. You be the parent.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were like, oh shit.
I've got a lot of children, so I don't know which one's gonna. We'll have to see about that one.
Oh yeah, you do have a lot of children. But exactly, even for you.
No, definitely. But thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. This was
And
amazing.
for everyone, get involved. You know, there are so many stories to learn from. So hit us with a comment if there's any questions for Eram and her journey, either through her business or her personal journey. Then let us know. Thanks.
Thank you.